The Nintendo Switch is home to many great games, some popular and some that are pretty niche, and one of those more niche games is Astral Chain. Astral Chain released in 2019. Going into it, I had high hopes. It was a brand new IP, developed by Platinum Games, and as a fan of the Bayonetta series, I knew the gameplay would be very fast-paced and fun. And it turned out it was, and my expectations were met and maybe even exceeded. In Astral Chain, you play as two twins in the police force. Whoa, hold up. These anime cops are some of the good ones, okay? Anyways, you play as one of the twins. If you play as a girl, your character is voiced by Brianna Knickerbocker. And if you pick to play as a male, your character is voiced by Alex Lee. Also, I guess these characters aren't identical twins. I was kind of hoping they were going to be when I was customizing my character. Because throughout the whole game, it was just weird how I had white hair and red eyes, but my sister had brown hair and brown eyes. So it really didn't seem like these characters were related. Anyways, you play as a pair of twins on the police force, and your dad is your boss. Astral Chain takes place in the distant future. Humanity is under attack by monsters called Chimera that come out of portals. All of humanity has been pushed to living in a megacity on an artificial island called the Ark. It is your job as a police officer of a special task force to stop the Chimera. Near the beginning of the game, you and a lot of the main characters get transported into the room where all the Chimera are coming from. In this room, you get separated from your dad after he does the whole noble sacrifice for the greater good kind of thing. And that is the main motivation for the game. Well, I mean, killing all the Chimera and saving the world is the main purpose, but reuniting with your dad is also important. But you getting separated from your dad really kicks things into motion. The setting of Astral Chain, the previously mentioned megacity called the Ark, is a pretty cool place. It's kind of like New York City, but also Tokyo. I don't know, it's very urban, but there's a lot of neon. I just remember being really impressed with the stages in this game. Astral Chain is just a very aesthetically pleasing game. The environmental artists really did a great job. As the player, you also go into the wormholes the Chimera are coming from fairly often. And I guess the Chimera world is okay. I mean, there's like a lot of red electricity stuff, and everything's kind of blocky. Speaking of style, if you haven't noticed already, which I don't know how, but Astral Chain has anime-style graphics, and they look pretty good for how weak the Switch is. And the game really leans into the anime style. I'm sure it's been done before, but this was the first time I played a game that legit had an anime opening in it. I remember laughing so hard when it happened, because I honestly wasn't expecting that. In addition, Astral Chain has a decent cast of characters. Some were better than others, but I do remember liking most of the characters. I liked Alicia, Olive, and me and basically everyone liked Mari.
I was like, damn, nigga, what you doing out here with all this ass? Double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon, hella ass, the sun is still out.
Sorry, I had to do it. It was a big joke in the player base. But hey, Platinum Games did not need to give her all of that. The soda machines in this game even have a fun personality. And the mascot Lappy was a fun comedic character. Which, by the way, Lappy totally isn't Mari, even though it sounds exactly like Mari. It's not her. That actually does bring up a funny moment in the midpoint of the game, maybe late game. Everyone is freaking out, and Lappy's also freaking out by the elevator. But when you take the elevator to the helipad, Mari is there. So who was in the Lappy costume? Anyways, Astral Chain has a fun cast of characters. The combat of Astral Chain is good, though I will say it does take some time to get used to. In Astral Chain, you have an X-Baton, which is a futuristic nightstick that switches from a baton to a blaster, and finally a Gladius, which is just like a big sword. All of them control nicely, but the main selling point of the combat is the Legions. The Legion are special beings created by humanity to combat the Chimera. They come in 5 forms: sword, arrow, arm, beast, and axe. This is where the controls get kinda weird. I remember while your Legion is out, you have to move it with the right stick. I feel like it didn't take too long to get used to it, but it does make the combat awkward at times. But fighting with the Legion was cool. During combat, the game grades you on how you use your Legions. It is important to be fast and have a variety to your fighting style. Now, being a fan of Bayonetta and other hack and slash games, I'm pretty used to getting a ranking. I will say though, I never understood the astral chain ranking system. There would be times where I think I did really good. You know, I beat all the monsters quickly, didn't get hit, and used multiple legions, and then I get a D or a C. Then sometimes I would do terrible and expect a C if I'm lucky, and then I get an A or an S. I legit could not figure out what the game wanted from me. I mean, I was having fun, but I was confused by this ranking system. In addition to combat, I remember Astral Chain having a fair amount of puzzles, stuff like investigating the area with a drone. But I remember one puzzle was terrible. I can't exactly remember what chapter it was, but you have to use your Legion to move all these shipping containers around. And for some reason, I just couldn't figure out how to get the path clear. I honestly spent like 45 minutes on this one puzzle, and then I had to look it up on YouTube. I still hate that puzzle to this day. But I don't remember any of the other ones being that bad. Astral Chain also has a lot of boss fights, and most of them are pretty cool. I guess I remember some could be kind of annoying, but for the most part, I remember having an okay time fighting all the bosses. And all the bosses were really cool, like the homunculi, Lias, or the scariest of them all, Kyle. But yeah, I remember the bosses being challenging but fun to fight against. Okay, so I don't want to sound like a broken record, but if you have watched my other video essay things, then say it with me now. At the time of writing this video, there hasn't been much news about Astral Chain. The game didn't end on a massive cliffhanger, but it left room for a sequel, but I don't know if that will happen. I heard the game didn't sell super well, but hey, Daemon X Machina is getting a second game, so anything's possible. Also, I heard Nintendo bought the Astral Chain IP, so that's gotta mean something. But I hope Astral Chain does get a sequel, because it is such a cool, underrated game. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Again, sorry for the slow upload rate. Also, sorry if this video didn't go in depth enough, or if the script was bad. I've never been a good writer, but hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, then don't forget to leave a like, comment, and maybe even subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw. I have been Crazy Blood Monkey, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.